Welcome to the video exploring the complex nature of relationships. Today, we will uncover the secrets behind the 8 characteristics of women that you should be cautious of when placing your trust and respect to protect your inner peace and avoid potential troubles. Imagine life as a journey full of crossroads. Identifying these types of people is like having a map that helps you distinguish between the path leading to happiness and the one filled with obstacles and regrets. Trust me, some of these types are more common than you think. If you don't learn to recognize the warning signs now, you might get lost in the emotional maze, causing severe consequences for your life and self-esteem. In particular, I will reveal the 8th type, the most dangerous one, which can completely change the way you perceive everything. Sadly, most men overlook these signs. So, make sure to watch until the end of the video because in addition to identifying these 8 types of women, I will also share 3 attitudes you must absolutely avoid to prevent appearing weak in the eyes of others. Consider this. Is the woman next to you possessing hidden risky traits that you might be unintentionally overlooking? Are you gradually falling into a spiral of arguments, loss of trust, and manipulation? Don't let yourself get trapped in a suffocating relationship that destroys your peace and self-esteem. I will equip you with the knowledge to protect your heart and mental health. These 11 types of women, especially types 3, 6, and 8, can cause deep wounds if you don't know how to handle them. Join me in exploring this journey so you can live a free life, free from suffering and regret. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the upcoming videos. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Trust and deception. In the maze of love, there are alluring roses you need to be cautious of, and the deceiver is one of them. They are women who harbor tendencies to deceive, distort the truth, and easily push you into tricky and laughable situations. Their deceit comes in countless forms, sometimes as intricate as smokescreens, other times as blatant as blemishes on the flesh. They can manipulate circumstances, distort the truth to achieve their own goals, or shamelessly break promises and established agreements. Engaging with these women can expose you to numerous risks, from financial and career setbacks to emotional wounds. Remember, the foundation of trust is honesty. The deceiver often tramples over this value, acting deceitfully both in work and personal life. Trusting them is like handing over hope, only to receive disappointment in return. They prioritize personal gain above all else, even if it means sacrificing those around them. A relationship with them is like a castle built on sand, fragile and easily shattered. Let me tell you a story about my friend Michael. Michael fell in love with a girl named Jennifer, who was beautiful and eloquent. Jennifer always appeared gentle and caring, making Michael believe he had found true love. However, Michael gradually discovered that Jennifer's words were just a shiny facade masking her deceptive nature. Jennifer frequently lied about her background, job, and even her relationships with others. Michael forgave her many times, hoping Jennifer would change, but eventually realized he was only deceiving himself. In the end, Michael decided to break up, accepting the pain to free himself. Michael's story serves as a warning to all of us. The deceiver is like an octopus, constantly changing colors, making it hard for you to grasp their true nature. Don't let their dazzling exterior fool you. Stay alert, observe carefully, listen, and scrutinize before placing your trust in anyone. Remember, in love, sincerity and honesty are the strongest foundations. Don't let yourself become a victim of deceivers, as the emotional wounds they inflict can last a long time, even haunting you for life. Number 2, manipulative behavior. On the journey to seek love and happiness, we often face countless challenges, and one of the most dangerous traps is manipulative behavior. This type of woman possesses an invisible power, infiltrating your mind and subtly controlling your thoughts and actions. They are masters of psychology, identifying your weaknesses and skillfully exploiting them to achieve their own goals. Sweet words, fake gestures of concern, pitiful tears, all are sharp tools in their hands. Initially, you might feel loved and protected, but gradually you'll realize you're being drawn into a whirlwind of control and imposition. Manipulative behavior manifests in various forms. Sometimes they play the victim, eliciting your compassion to make you comply with their desires. Other times they use threats and torment, making you fearful and always living in a state of anxiety. They might even isolate you from friends and family, making you entirely dependent on them. One of the most sophisticated tactics these women use is gaslighting, a psychological manipulation that makes you doubt yourself. They continuously deny your feelings and thoughts, making you feel wrong or crazy. Gradually, you lose confidence, lose your own opinions, and become a puppet in their hands. Let me tell you about my friend Peter, a talented architect. Peter met Sarah, a beautiful and charming girl, at an art exhibition. Sarah always admired Peter's talent, making him feel special. However, Sarah began to interfere with Peter's work, criticizing his designs and forcing him to change them according to her wishes. Sarah also frequently checked Peter's phone and emails, forbade him from meeting friends and colleagues. Initially, Peter thought Sarah cared about him, but gradually he felt suffocated and lost his freedom. He always had to live in worry and fear, not daring to go against Sarah's wishes. In the end, Peter decided to break up, but he had to spend a lot of time healing the psychological wounds Sarah had caused. Peter's story is a typical example of manipulative behavior. These women are like octopuses, using their tentacles to tightly wrap around you, draining your energy and spirit. Stay alert to recognize warning signs and don't let yourself fall into their traps. Learn to set clear boundaries, protect your opinions, and do not allow anyone to control your life. Remember, you deserve to be loved and respected, not manipulated and exploited by others. Number 3, lack of empathy. Following the manipulative behavior, let's discuss another type of woman fraught with potential dangers: the unempathetic person. They are like stone statues, cold and indifferent to the joys, sorrows, and sufferings of others. Living with them, you will feel lonely and isolated within your own relationship. Unempathetic persons are often only concerned with their own emotions and needs. They lack the ability to put themselves in others' shoes, to understand and share. When you face difficulties, they will be indifferent, apathetic, or even critical and judgmental. Living beside them, you will feel like you're talking to a wall, unheard and misunderstood. Communicating with unempathetic persons is like a mentally exhausting struggle. They don't care about what you say, only keen on protecting their own viewpoints. Gradually, you will feel drained, lose all energy and confidence in the relationship. So, how to deal with this type of person? First, you need to clearly recognize that lack of empathy is part of their character and is very hard to change. Don't try to force them to understand and share with you, as this will only lead to more disappointment and exhaustion. Instead, focus on protecting yourself. Learn to accept the differences. Don't accept too much empathy from them. When you need to share, seek out trusted friends, people who can listen and understand. More importantly, clearly define boundaries in the relationship. Don't let them exploit your tolerance. Be strong in saying no when necessary. And don't hesitate to distance yourself if the relationship only brings you harm and suffering. Remember, you deserve to be loved and cherished. Don't waste your time and emotions on those who don't appreciate you. Be strong, move forward, and seek your true happiness. Life is full of surprises, and encountering people with different personalities is inevitable. Instead of drowning in disappointment and sorrow, learn to accept, adapt, and protect yourself. Ultimately, the only person who can bring you happiness is yourself. Number 4, Perpetual Victim. Continuing our journey to explore the types of women to be cautious of in love, we encounter a complex and unpredictable type, the perpetual victim. These women always see themselves as the center of misfortune, constantly feeling unfairly treated and believing themselves to be victims of cruel circumstances. They wear the cloak of weakness and fragility, always seeking pity and empathy from others. They recount their sufferings and misfortunes, talking about how others have treated them badly. Initially, you might feel sympathy, wanting to protect and defend them. But eventually, you will realize it's just an endless, vicious cycle. Perpetual victims never take responsibility for what happens in their lives. They always blame others, circumstances, or fate. They never reflect on themselves or try to change to escape their current state. Living with such people, you will gradually feel mentally exhausted. You'll always have to muster the strength to comfort, encourage, and help them. But soon you'll realize that all your efforts are meaningless. They don't want to change, they just want to drown in others' pity. Moreover, perpetual victims often manipulate others with emotions. They exploit your sympathy to achieve their own goals. They might cry, beg, or even threaten to make you comply with their wishes. So, how to deal with this type of person? The most important thing is to stand firm, not letting yourself get caught in their emotional whirlwind. View the situation objectively. Don't let pity blind you. When they talk about their misfortunes, listen with empathy, but don't rush to give advice or solutions. Instead, encourage them to find ways to solve their own problems. Don't let them exploit your kindness. Be strong in saying no when necessary, and don't hesitate to leave the relationship if it only brings you exhaustion and negativity. Remember, you're not responsible for solving everyone else's problems. You have your own life, and you deserve to be happy. Don't let perpetual victims drag you down into a pit of negativity and pessimism. Number 5, disrespectful behavior. On the quest to find true love, we inevitably encounter women with various personalities. Some bring joy and warmth, while others cause pain and disappointment. The disrespectful person is one of them. They are women who belittle others' emotions, thoughts, and values. They might use derogatory language, insults, or even humiliate you in front of others without any remorse. They don't care about the deep wounds their actions can inflict on others. Their disrespect can manifest in many forms. It could be rude, curt language, insensitive actions, or contemptuous gestures. Regardless of the form, disrespect always causes severe harm to those who endure it. Living with such people, you'll constantly feel belittled and undervalued. Your self-esteem will gradually erode, and your self-confidence will diminish. You'll feel undeserving of love and happiness. Sadly, disrespectful persons often don't realize the pain they cause to others. They think it's just harmless jokes or actions that show closeness and intimacy. They don't understand that every word and action carries weight and can leave lasting scars on others. So, how to deal with this type of person? First, you need to clearly recognize that you deserve respect. Never allow anyone, even the closest ones, to have the right to insult or humiliate you. When they exhibit disrespectful behavior, openly express your feelings. Let them know that you feel hurt and do not accept such actions. Don't stay silent, as silence only allows them to continue their behavior. If they don't change, firmly set boundaries in the relationship. Limit your interactions with them, or even end the relationship if necessary. Don't let yourself be trapped in pain and loss. Remember, life is too short to waste time and emotions on those who don't appreciate you. Love yourself, protect your self-esteem, and seek healthy relationships where you are respected and loved properly. Number 6, financial exploitation. In a relationship, one partner continuously seeking to exploit the other's finances is not only a sign of selfishness, but also shows a lack of respect for equality and mutual growth. This is no longer about love, but a form of manipulation aimed at personal gain. This can include incessant demands for money, requiring you to pay for things beyond your means, or constantly making you feel obligated to provide financial support without any fair return. We can easily get caught in these situations due to pressure from the other party, especially when they use guilt as a weapon. For example, the other party might frequently say they are facing financial difficulties and have no one else to rely on. They create a sense that your support is natural and that you should feel responsible. This is especially dangerous when it drains your finances without any gratitude or support in return. A specific example is when your partner constantly demands expensive gifts or insists you pay for luxurious meals and vacations without contributing any part. They justify it by saying that because you have financial capability, you should be willing to pay. You should be willing to pay because you really love me. You won't refuse this. These words often make you feel pressured and reluctant to disappoint them. This is a clear sign of financial exploitation without fairness in the relationship. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of financial independence and personal responsibility. He believed that virtue is the wealth of the soul, meaning a person's value is not in the money they possess or receive, but in their ability to control their life and avoid being influenced by material factors. Financially independent individuals will never place others in a position where they have to be responsible for their financial safety. They understand that financial dependence on others not only strips away personal freedom, but also disrupts balance in the relationship. It is crucial to clearly recognize the signs of financial exploitation and avoid getting caught in it. Remember that a healthy relationship is one where both parties contribute and support each other, not where one person continuously demands while the other has to sacrifice. Setting clear boundaries and maintaining your stance are essential. You have the right to say no when you feel the other party's demands are unreasonable and unfair. If you're in a relationship where the other person only values you for your financial capability, reconsider the relationship. You deserve to be loved for who you truly are, not for what you can provide. Financial independence not only allows you to control your own life, but also helps you build relationships based on true love and respect, not for material benefits. Number 7. Constant criticism. Individuals who continuously criticize are those who relentlessly find faults to berate, causing you to feel insecure and under unnecessary pressure. Living and working with such people, we easily feel undervalued and lose confidence in our self-worth. Sometimes the criticism doesn't target a specific action or decision, but aims at your very being, making you feel not good enough in others' eyes. According to psychological studies on harmful behaviors, constant criticism can lead to decreased morale, loss of energy, and feelings of insecurity about oneself. It creates a vicious cycle. Criticism makes the victim feel helpless, and feeling helpless makes them more susceptible to further criticism. Critics are often individuals harboring deep-seated dissatisfaction, using others as a way to vent that frustration. They seek to control and impose on others, often through non-constructive criticism aimed solely at belittling the other person. For example, in a workplace environment, a boss who constantly criticizes employees can make them feel stressed, anxious, and demotivated. Non-constructive criticism can damage self-esteem and reduce creativity, even leading to burnout. In personal relationships, a partner who only knows how to criticize can create a toxic environment, causing the other person to live in constant worry and not dare to express their true emotions. Stoic philosophy reminds us that when facing non-constructive criticism, we have the right to refuse and not accept it. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth is not determined by how others perceive us, but by our own efforts and self-awareness. Epictetus once said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." When faced with criticism, ask yourself if it is truly constructive. If not, learn to ignore it and focus on what truly matters for your own development. One effective way to deal with constant critics is to set clear boundaries. You don't have to accept all criticism, especially when it's not constructive. Learn to say no to negative feedback and focus on what can help you grow. Seek feedback from trusted individuals who can offer constructive advice and help you develop. Sometimes, looking at yourself from a different perspective can help you see areas for improvement, but this only works when it comes from genuine and supportive people. Additionally, remember to keep your mind positive. Negative criticism can be like poisoned arrows shot at your spirit, but you can choose not to let those arrows hurt you. Focus on personal growth, set clear goals, and don't let negative words derail you. When you know your own value and understand that you are doing your best, unfair criticism becomes meaningless. Finally, learn to separate yourself from others' words. What others say about you is not a true reflection of who you are, but merely their subjective view. Stoics always knew that their value was not determined by others' opinions. Use criticism as an opportunity for self-evaluation and growth, but only if it is truly helpful and comes from people you trust and respect. Number 8. The Troublemaker. Individuals who intentionally cause trouble often use emotional provocation tactics to achieve personal gain. Anger, in particular, is one of the easiest emotions to manipulate. These people want to make you lose mental control, turning you into someone who loses composure and reacts thoughtlessly. This is a strategy to disrupt your stability, allowing them to control the situation as they desire. Troublemakers often use provocative, mocking, or even personal attacks. Insulting words are frequently used to test your patience. Sometimes they also use sarcasm or contemptuous attitudes to push you into a state of losing control. These behaviors not only hurt your self-esteem, but also diminish your confidence, making you start doubting yourself. Psychological studies show that individuals who like to provoke others' anger often have controlling tendencies, crave power, and may even suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. They try to push you into a vulnerable state, making themselves feel stronger. These individuals often don't care about the consequences of their actions on others' emotions and mental states. Their sole aim is to achieve domination and personal satisfaction. According to Stoic philosophy, inner peace is precious and must be protected. No one can make you angry if you don't allow them to do so. This means you need to be self-aware and control your reactions. Instead of reacting immediately to provocations, pause, take a deep breath, and think about the consequences of losing your temper. Ask yourself, is that person worth losing your peace over? Anger is not a natural reaction, but a result of how we choose to perceive and evaluate a situation. You have the right to decide whether a situation is worth getting angry about. One effective way to deal with troublemakers is to set clear boundaries. This means knowing when to say no to provocative behavior and not letting others invade your personal life or affect your spirit. You also need to practice emotional detachment, a concept heavily emphasized in Stoic philosophy. This is the ability to observe the situation from a certain distance without getting entangled in the negative emotions they provoke. Additionally, build a positive support network for yourself. Trusted friends and family can help you maintain balance and provide sincere advice when you're struggling. They are the ones who can help you see your own value, even when you're facing criticism and negative behavior from toxic individuals. Finally, always remember that your inner peace is the most important thing in any situation. Troublemakers will try every possible way to affect you, but you alone have the power to decide your reactions. Always remember that happiness and peace are your choices, and don't let anyone take away that right. Stoicism teaches us that life is a series of our own choices and actions, and only we can decide the path we want to take, no matter how many toxic people are trying to lead you astray. How to deal with toxic people. Toxic individuals are those who consistently bring negative energy, have the ability to manipulate others, and create a stressful environment. These people often exhibit controlling behaviors, distort the truth, and constantly try to pull others into their psychological games. They may exploit your trust, kindness, and even your empathy to serve their personal interest. This not only makes you feel mentally exhausted, but also drain your life energy and personal motivation. Victims of toxic individuals often include those who always play the victim role to evoke guilt in others. They believe that everyone around them is the cause of their suffering and feel entitled to excessive care and attention. This makes you exhausted as you constantly try to prove your kindness and help them, but it seems like your efforts are never enough. Psychological studies on toxic individuals show that these negative behaviors often stem from a lack of self-confidence and deep-seated wounds from their past. However, this doesn't mean you have to take responsibility for their healing or change. The most important thing is to learn to recognize these signs and set clear boundaries to protect yourself. Stoic philosophy encourages us to focus on what we can control, and that does not include others' behaviors. When dealing with toxic people, remember that you cannot change them, but you can change how you react. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." Maintaining calmness, focusing on your self-worth, and not getting pulled into the negativity caused by others are key to overcoming these situations. One helpful way to deal with toxic people is to create clear boundaries. This means knowing when to say no to their negative behavior. It might require patience and strong will, but by not allowing yourself to be affected by their provocations, the troublemaker will lose their motivation to continue their behavior. You can also choose to distance yourself from these individuals if they continue to cause you discomfort and stress. Sometimes leaving unhealthy relationships is the only way to protect your own peace. Remember that calmness is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your inner strength and self-retrieve. Troublemakers cannot control you if you don't allow them to. By maintaining peace in your soul, you not only protect yourself, but also set a positive example for those around you.